Let me tell you something you already know deep down. When life comes at you hard, fast, and unfair, it's not trying to bury you. It's trying to build you. The struggle, the pushback, the failure, that's not the enemy. That's your curriculum. That's your training ground. You want to know what separates people who rise from the ones who fall and stay down. It's what they do when life says no. When doors slam, when people walk out. When everything you planned unravels in front of your face. See, we've been conditioned to believe that ease means we're doing it right, that smooth roads mean we're blessed, but that's not always true. Some of the most powerful lessons you'll ever learn will come wrapped in pain, failure, or isolation. Resistance is not the enemy, it's the instructor. And just like lifting weights, you don't grow without resistance. That pressure you feel, that's life putting weight on your soul so your character gets stronger. Let me break it down. If you're in the gym and you only lift what's easy, your body never changes. No muscle, no endurance, no transformation. Now take that same logic and apply it to life. If you only show up when it's convenient, when you feel good, or when everything's going your way, you're never going to develop the strength to carry what you were built for. Life will test you before it trusts you with anything real. You've got to prove you can handle the weight. Opposition is confirmation. If life is pushing back, it's because something in you has the potential to push forward. The enemy doesn't attack what's weak, it goes after what's powerful. So if you feel like everything's coming against you, your finances, your peace, your health, your dreams maybe, just maybe, it's because you're getting close to something worth protecting. Something worth fighting for, something that scares the darkness. So don't curse the resistance, respect it, learn from it. When you're facing hardship, ask, what is life trying to teach me right now? What character trait is this moment trying to form in me? Is it patience, grit, faith, humility? You don't get those things from winning all the time. You earn them in the valley, in the quiet nights when nobody sees you and you're still showing up. Some people think, if life is against me, it means I'm not meant to go forward. No, sometimes that pressure is proof that you're headed in the right direction. If you're building something real, a dream, a purpose, a legacy, don't expect it to be easy. Mountains were never meant to be smooth. You climb them with bruised hands, tired legs, and a heart that refuses to quit. But let me be real, it's not just about pushing through pain. It's about learning through it. Because pain that isn't processed becomes pain that's repeated. If you don't stop and ask, why is this resistance here? What is it refining in me? You'll miss the lesson and carry the same baggage into the next season of your life. And that's not growth. That's survival. We're not here to just survive. We're here to overcome. So next time life gets rough, don't just react emotionally. Get still, get quiet. Look the problem in the face and say, what are you here to teach me? Because that moment, that pain, that rejection, that failure, it might be the turning point. The thing that breaks you down just enough so something new can rise in you. That's the moment a boy becomes a man. A dreamer becomes a doer. A victim becomes a warrior. And here's the part most people miss: the resistance isn't personal. Life isn't picking on you, it's preparing you. The struggle is a setup. Every setback is training. Every closed door is redirecting you. You're being forged, not forgotten. And when you finally get to that place you've been grinding toward, when the success shows up, when the opportunity opens, when the platform comes, you'll realize that it wasn't the prize that made you. It was the process. So if life is against you, pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this is not the end. This is the workout. This is the lesson. This is the blessing in disguise. Train your mind to see resistance as purpose in motion. Because in the end, the storm doesn't destroy the eagle. It lifts it. When life starts throwing punches, when the weight gets too heavy, when you feel like you're walking through a storm with no end in sight, you need something to hold on to. And I'm not talking about money or applause or somebody else carrying you. I'm talking about something deeper, something immovable. You need to anchor yourself in faith and purpose, because when everything is shaking, you need something that doesn't move. something that doesn't change with public opinion, with emotions, or with your circumstances. Life is not always predictable. Some days will hit you so hard you forget who you are. Some moments will test you so deeply you start questioning why you even started. But that's exactly why your anchor matters. Faith is not just belief in God, though that's where many of us begin. Faith is also belief in the unseen, in the process, in your calling, even when it doesn't make sense. It's belief that this pain has a purpose, that the fire you're walking through is refining you, not destroying you. See, everybody talks about having faith when things are good, when the checks are coming in, when the opportunities are lining up. But real faith shows up when the lights go out, when nobody is clapping for you, when the doors stay closed no matter how hard you knock. You've got to believe when it doesn't feel good. You've got to hold on when your mind is telling you to quit. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who retreat. Because if you don't anchor yourself in something greater than the storm will carry you away. Purpose is the second part of that anchor. And I'm not talking about job titles or social media bios. I'm talking about the reason you wake up in the morning, the reason you push when you could quit. Purpose is your why. Without it, you'll get knocked off course every time something doesn't go your way. Life will confuse you. People will distract you. And before you know it, you're lost not because you weren't talented, but because you weren't anchored. Let me ask you something. What's your purpose? Why are you here? What were you made to do? You see, when you don't know your purpose, you start comparing yourself to other people. You start chasing success instead of significance. But when you're anchored in purpose, you don't move just because someone else is moving. You don't quit just because the process is taking longer than expected. You don't settle just because it got hard. You endure because you know where you're going. Purpose is the GPS for your soul. Let me give it to you straight. Storms are coming no matter who you are, how rich you are, or how gifted you are. Life doesn't skip anybody, but the ones who make it, the ones who rise, the ones who still shine when everything goes dark, those are the ones who drop their anchor deep. Faith and purpose, that's what they're tied to, and that's why they don't drift. You want to know why some people bounce back after failure and others stay broken? It's not about luck. It's not even about talent. It's about what they're anchored to. The ones who rise have a foundation that can't be shaken. They've trained themselves to believe in something greater than the problem. They remind themselves daily, this isn't random. This pain is part of the plan. I was born for more than this moment. And here's the truth, anchoring yourself is not a one-time event. It's a daily decision. Every day you wake up, you choose what you're going to believe in. You choose what you're going to stand on. Are you standing on fear or on faith? Are you being guided by your problems or by your purpose? The answer to that question determines how far you'll go. Look, storms are real. Life gets ugly. You will cry. You will lose. You will fail. That's part of the story. But what matters most is what you hold on to when the wind starts blowing. And let me tell you, the wind will blow. People will doubt you. You will doubt yourself. But if you can say, even in your weakness, I still believe. If you can whisper, I'm not done yet. If you can declare, this storm won't sink me, then you're already winning, because an anchored soul doesn't just survive, it grows, it learns, it rises, and eventually it shines. Not because life was easy, but because their faith was stronger than their fear. Their purpose was louder than the pressure. So when life is against you, don't let go of the anchor. Tighten your grip. Trust the process. Trust the promise, and walk like you already know you were built to withstand the storm. Let me tell you something that might just save your future. Feelings are real, but they're not always right. Emotions are loud, but they don't always speak truth. And if you let your emotions lead your decisions, you will sabotage everything you were called to build. You can't lead your life based on how you feel in the moment. You've got to lead it based on discipline, not emotion. Discipline is doing what's right even when it doesn't feel good. Discipline is waking up and showing up when your body says, stay in bed. It's studying when your mind is tired, praying when your heart is heavy, and grinding when your emotions beg you to quit. Anybody can be consistent when they feel inspired, but what about the days you feel broken? That's when discipline steps in and takes the wheel. You see, emotions will lie to you. They'll tell you that quitting is easier. They'll whisper, you're not good enough, nobody cares, or this isn't working. And if you follow that voice, you'll forfeit blessings that were one decision away. Discipline says, I'm not here to negotiate with my feelings, I'm here to finish what I started. You have to understand this. Greatness doesn't come from emotional decisions, it comes from intentional habits. When you see someone who's successful, someone who has built something real, you're not just looking at talent. You're looking at consistency. You're looking at years of showing up when nobody was watching. You're looking at mornings when they didn't feel like it, nights when they wanted to quit, and moments when their feelings said no, but their discipline said go. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying emotions don't matter. They do. But emotions are indicators, not dictators. They can inform you, but they should never control you. Anger can tell you something's wrong, but if you act in anger, you'll destroy what you're trying to protect. Fear can warn you about danger, but if you live in fear, you'll never take the risks required for growth. Sadness is part of life. But if you let sadness drive your choices, you'll miss the opportunity for healing. Discipline is the anchor when your emotions are all over the place. It's the internal agreement that says, no matter how I feel today, I'm committed to this path. I'm committed to this vision. And that kind of mindset, that kind of resolve, it changes everything. Here's the truth. Life is not always going to be convenient. Your dream will not always feel exciting. That business, that career, that vision, it won't always give you butterflies. Some days it's just hard. Some days it's boring. Some days it feels like you're going backward. But if you only move when it's easy, you'll never finish anything. Discipline teaches you to keep showing up, to keep investing, to keep fighting, even when the feelings are gone. You've got to build a structure around your life routines, habits, values so strong that your emotions have no choice but to fall in line. You don't rise to the level of your feelings, you rise to the level of your habits, and habits are born through repetition, not inspiration. Everybody wants to be motivated, but let me tell you something, motivation is fleeting. It's a spark. Discipline, that's the fire that keeps burning long after the spark goes out. And you know what else? Discipline isn't always loud. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just doing the next right thing. Writing the next page, saying no to the wrong thing, choosing the hard road, and over time that small decision repeated over and over becomes your lifestyle. It becomes your legacy. Think about it. How many people have you seen fall off track because of one emotional decision? One night of anger, one moment of weakness, one feeling of fear, one lazy day that turned into a lazy year. That's the cost of emotion. Led living, that's the cost of not developing discipline. But when you lead with discipline, you don't just survive the storm, you come out stronger. You build something that lasts, something that pressure can't break. So here's what I want you to remember. You will not always feel like doing the right thing. That's normal. But champions do it anyway. You will not always feel brave. You will not always feel confident. But if you've trained discipline into your soul, you'll act like it until the feeling catches up. Discipline is about making your future self proud. It's about doing today what tomorrow depends on. So when your emotions scream, quit, your discipline will whisper, keep going. When your feelings say, this is too much, your discipline says, we've trained for this. In the end, your emotions will come and go, but what you build through discipline will outlast every mood swing. So build, show up, push through, stay focused, and never let a temporary feeling destroy a permanent calling. Your mind is the battlefield. Not your job, not your bank account, not your neighborhood. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you allow in, what you focus on, what you repeat to yourself, that determines how you handle pressure, how you bounce back, how you survive. And in a world that constantly tries to program you with fear, doubt, comparison, and negativity, protecting your mindset is not optional. It's necessary. See, most people lose the battle long before they fail in the physical world. They lose it in their thoughts. They start entertaining lies like, "I'm not good enough," "It's too late," "I'll never make it." And what starts as a thought becomes a belief. What becomes a belief becomes a behavior. And before they know it, they're stuck not because they didn't have talent or opportunity, but because they let the wrong ideas take root. You've got to be aggressive about what you allow into your mental space, because everything starts with a seed. One negative thought can grow into a pattern. One discouraging comment from somebody can play on repeat in your mind for years if you let it. One comparison to someone else's life can rob you of joy, peace, and progress. You can't afford to be careless with your focus. If you let your mind wander, the world will tell you who you are. But if you take charge, if you discipline your thoughts, you can renew your entire life from the inside out. The most dangerous thing isn't what happens around you, it's what happens within you. A storm can hit your life, but if your mind is steady, you won't collapse. But if your mindset is weak, even the smallest challenge will break you. So you've got to train your mind like you train your body, daily, with intention, with purpose. You don't just protect your mindset on good days, you protect it especially on the dark ones. When the pressure hits, when the bills pile up, when people disappoint you, your first line of defense is your mindset. That's where the battle is won or lost. If you wake up and feed your mind with doubt, fear, and insecurity, don't be surprised when your life reflects those things. But if you wake up and fill your mind with truth, discipline, and vision even in chaos, you'll move with clarity. You'll lead yourself with purpose. You've got to talk to yourself stronger than the world talks to you. Because the world will tell you you're too old, too late, too broken. It'll say you missed your shot, you're not qualified, you'll never make it out. But your job is to have a mindset that says, "I'm still standing, I'm still called, I'm still breathing, so I'm still in the fight." That's not arrogance, that's identity. That's understanding that setbacks don't define you unless you let them. Your past doesn't get to have the final word, not if your mindset refuses to bow to it. Now, don't get it twisted protecting your mind. It doesn't mean pretending everything's okay when it's not. It means refusing to let problems dictate your power. It means acknowledging the storm, but believing in the breakthrough. It means feeling the pain, but not giving it the microphone. There's a reason successful people are intentional about what they read, who they spend time with, what they watch, what they listen to. Because they know the mind is a sponge. It absorbs whatever you feed it. Garbage in, garbage out. Truth in, strength out. You can't feed your mind with negativity and expect to walk in peace. You can't feed your mind with gossip and expect to build something great. You've got to make a decision. I will guard my mind like my life depends on it, because it does. If you let every criticism, every disappointment, every failure rent space in your mind, you'll stay stuck. But if you renew your mind daily, you'll find a power that rises even in the midst of the storm. You'll start to speak to yourself differently. You'll stop waiting for the world to affirm you, because your mindset already knows who you are. And here's the secret. People will try to pull you into their storm. They'll try to put their fears on you, their limits on you, their failures on you. You've got to be mentally strong enough to say, "No, that's your storm. I'm building peace. I'm building purpose. I'm moving forward." That takes strength. That takes clarity. That takes a mind that's been trained to reject the lie and believe the truth even when it hurts. So if life feels like it's against you, protect your mind first. Because once your mindset is locked in, everything else becomes manageable. You'll still feel the pain, you'll still face the pressure, but you'll face it with power. You'll face it with a perspective that says, this is just a chapter, not the whole book. You'll keep going not because life got easier, but because your mind got stronger. When life turns on you, when it feels like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong, it's easy to close off. It's easy to isolate. It's easy to say, I've got this, and try to carry the weight all by yourself. But let me tell you something, even the strongest people need support. Even warriors get tired. Even champions need someone in their corner. You were never designed to walk through the fire alone. We live in a world that praises independence, that says asking for help is weakness, that says strength is keeping everything bottled up. But real strength is knowing when you need people. Real power is in connection, in vulnerability, in letting the right people walk beside you when the load gets too heavy to carry on your own. Think about it, even the best athletes have coaches. Even the most powerful leaders have advisors. Nobody wins alone, and in the hardest seasons of life, what will carry you through won't just be your hustle, your grind, or your grit. It will be the voices that surround you, the ones who speak truth when your mind is clouded, the ones who remind you who you are when life tries to make you forget, the ones who don't judge your wounds but help you bandage them. You've got to surround yourself with people who elevate your spirit, not drain it. People who sharpen your vision, not distract you from it. People who pray for you, fight for you, check on you when nobody else does. That kind of circle is rare, but it's worth building. And you don't build that in the middle of the storm. You build that before the storm hits, so when it does, you're not alone. Sometimes the reason people stay stuck is not because they lack effort, but because they lack encouragement. A single word, a single reminder from someone who sees your value can pull you out of a dark place. But if you isolate yourself, if you shut out the world, if you try to be your own army, you might survive, but you won't thrive. And you weren't created just to survive. There's healing in healthy relationships. There's wisdom in counsel. There's strength in unity. And if you're always trying to do life alone, always trying to be the hero and the healer at the same time, eventually something breaks. That's not weakness, that's reality. Even Jesus had disciples. Even the greatest needed community. So why do we think we're supposed to fight battles alone? Now let me be clear, not everyone qualifies to be in your corner. Some people just want access to your struggle, not responsibility for your success. You've got to be discerning. Everyone can't speak into your life. Some voices only add noise, not clarity. But when you find those people, the ones who challenge you, check on you, call out your greatness, hold on to them. Honor them, and don't let pride make you suffer in silence when help is a phone call away. When life is against you, connection is protection. It's the safety net that catches you when you fall. It's the light that guides you when everything feels dark. It's the reminder that you don't have to be perfect to be loved, and you don't have to be strong every single day to be respected. We're human, and humans are built for relationship. And sometimes it's not even about what people say, it's just their presence. Just knowing someone sees you, hears you, believes in you, that's enough to help you stand when everything around you is falling apart. That's the power of community. That's the gift of real connection. But don't wait until you're broken to start reaching out. Build those relationships now. Invest in people who pour into you. Be that person for someone else. Because you never know when you'll need that lifeline or when someone else will need you. Life is a journey, and every journey has valleys. What matters most is not how fast you move through them, but who walks with you. Don't underestimate the power of a tribe, of a team, of a friend who simply says, you're not alone. So if you're going through hell right now and you feel like giving up, call somebody. Talk to somebody. Let someone remind you of the light when all you see is the dark. You don't have to carry it all. You don't have to prove anything. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say, I need help. Because healing happens in honesty, Growth happens in unity, and peace often returns when we realize we were never meant to fight our hardest battles in silence. You are not weak for needing people. You are wise. You are not broken for being tired. You are human, and sometimes the most powerful step forward is not pushing harder, but reaching out. You are not alone. You never were, so don't act like you are. Now listen to me. Life will test you. It will push you. It will try to break you. It will turn its back on you and ask, what are you made of? But when life is against you, you don't fold, you rise. You don't let pain become your prison. You don't let fear write your future. You stand up, shake off the dust, and say, this is not how my story ends. You've got to stop waiting for perfect conditions to build your legacy. Greatness is forged in the fire. You don't need everything to make sense to move forward. You need faith. You need discipline. You need a mind that's been trained to see light in the middle of darkness. And, above all, you need to remember you're not alone in this. So when your feelings betray you, lean on your discipline. When your emotions lie, protect your mindset. When life tries to isolate you, connect with the right people. And through it all, never forget, storms don't last forever, but warriors do. You were not born to live small, scared, or silent. You were born with purpose, born with power, born to rise even when life knocks you down. So if life is against you, do this: dig deeper, stand taller, think sharper, fight harder, and trust not in the ease of the path, but in the strength within you. Your story isn't over. It's just getting started.